Ahoy, ahoy.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey. Wow. Way better than the last time, man. Hear you perfectly.
Oh my god. It's weird actually because I feel like Australia is further away. Like it's like
I,
worse.
I don't know. Maybe it's the microphone.
Oh, maybe. It is like pretty jammed in my face right now. My other one's a little bit. It's not as close, but it's still pretty close.
I mean, the other day was a little bit weird for me because I was hearing you so good in the stream, and on the call it was slightly weird. I mean, it's okay.
You know what we should do next time?
You tell me.
Well, if it sounds good for you now, we don't have to do anything different. But next time we coach, when I'm in America, I'm gonna put the server on Western Europe because I can change the server
Okay.
we have the call on. And it was probably on like US West, and it's like making you connect all the way to the West Coast. And for me, it's like I have super low latency to it, but for you, it's really high.
Uh-huh.
But I can connect to Europe, like Western Europe, no problem. Even Central Europe isn't even that bad. It's like 200 ping for me or something.
Sounds great.
Yeah, we can try that next time. So, because I didn't realize it was that bad for you. Sorry, dude.
Oh, it's alright. It's alright. I mean, I was kind of sleepy, so yeah, it's alright.
Are you sleepy now?
No. I'm well, more or less tired, but it's okay. I asked for this. I'm cool. I'm
Slevin,
cool.
I'm a dick and I kept you up way too late.
No. It was my fault because I asked and I didn't ask sooner. My bad.
It's all good. As long as you want to do it.
Yeah, sure, please. Yeah, I'm just honestly more concerned, as I always say, about doing the same mistakes.
I'm reading between the lines, and it sounds like you want to do it another day. So we'll reschedule.
No. Let's go for it.
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
Oh,
dude.
come on, man. Stop it. Fuck me, man.
I'm just-
Oh my god.
Okay.
I fall for it.
Okay. You're just because you're way too nice. You're a really nice guy.
Nah. No, you are.
Okay. Sorry,
God damn it.
I keep interrupting you, but tell me everything. How you doing? Well, tell me the story.
The story. Whoa, it's the story. Well, the story. I don't know, man. You just you got me unplugged right now.
Well,
The story.
what's happened between our last coaching lesson and now? Like, how you been? What are you looking for?
Okay. Okay. Now I can do. I've been practicing some of the stuff that you told me about. The Phoenix. I like having more scout and reading the game, and I think I got better at that. I struggle a little bit. I found myself struggling on the early game, mostly with Blink Star Colors sometimes, and the early pushes. I remember this one there was a Liberator, a Siege Tank, and a couple of Marines, and early timing, and I was like, okay, he got me. And the Skytos. Skytos, usually the Bloody Skytos has more ships than me, and usually gets me. Although the battle cruisers, that there was the last coaching lesson, I got better against the Terran. I get my Tempest, and usually I stop them, so I don't struggle that much.
Okay. So there's just a few things that are that are keeping you having issues and stuff, and some of the stuff you've adapted to and you've made better, but there's a lot of things that are still giving you a lot of problems, and essentially it sounds like a lot of air units and stalkers.
Yeah, sometimes, but the replay that I have in mind right now is against a Terran, and he did some, I think it's called run-bys, like he goes from the left and from the right, and then he, bit by bit, it's my workers, and then I'm like, okay, he got me.
Okay, so yeah, we just jump into it, I guess. I'll request to join your party, then you can host up the replay, and then just make me host in the replay lobby.
Sure.
And we'll get into it, dude, and we'll talk about it. So, but in general, though, from the last lesson, you feel like there's some stuff that you've definitely adapted to and has like
yes,
improved
indeed.
your play?
Yeah, improved. Yes. Reading the game on the early stages, like for example, knowing if the Zerg has a pull first, then I'm expecting early aggression, stuff like that has been helpful, and yeah, made it a lot easier to play, and definitely more comfortable and enjoyable.
It's good. All right, it's good to hear. Good to hear. Nice.
Just give me 1 second. Whoa. There you go.
Oh, you got.
Oh fuck!
I gotta give it back to you for now. Just make me the lobby of the lobby host.
Sure. Just give me 1 second.
Take your time, dude. Take your time.
I cannot.
Logic soldier, thanks, man. Thanks, dude.
I'm slightly. I don't know why I cannot play it right now.
Is
Okay,
it
what
gray?
the heck is going on? Let me restart because I don't know why I cannot play the replay.
So it works like this though. If I think the new patch just recently came out, unfortunately, again. And
Yeah.
if a new patch comes out, it'll make it to where the previous replays you have now are previous versions of StarCraft. So the only way you can watch it is if you go offline. So try and actually just watch a replay right now and see if it makes you log off.
Okay.
To do that, and if it does, then you can just give me the replay too in Discord, and we'll have to watch it through the stream then, unfortunately.
Sure, it's okay. Okay. Yeah, it lets me play it, so I should be able to invite you and.
Yeah, it should. If you can watch it online, it should work.
Yeah, I think it's patching it right now or something. I mean, it's letting me watch it.
All right. So you're in the replay then right now?
Yeah.
All right, leave it, and now tell me if you're on the login screen.
Sure. I think that's gonna be it. Like you just said.
I think when it loaded, it probably logged you out, and it puts you in the replay instead.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, you're not online anymore.
All right, then I send it to you, and we watch it.
Yep. You just gotta send it to me on Discord then.
Okay.
Well, I'll give you an option here, okay, Slevin? I'll give you an option. And don't feel like there's any wrong answer here, okay? This is 100% your call.
All right.
What you could do is we could continue the coaching lesson today now and just do it through the stream only, like we're about to do, or you could take some time to play some new games over today, tomorrow, whatever, and we could coach in a few days and we could watch it together live, in the game, so you're like on par with me. You're not watching it through a stream. Because if you make some new replays and have me analyze those for you, it'll be off the new patch, so it won't make you log off for that. So whatever one you think would work. Like if you want to do it now today, we can totally do it today though. But it's your call. What you want to do?
Well, I'd say I actually wanna watch this one, and then I get another lesson, and we. I mean, you coach the new replays. I think. That would work for me.
Okay, so we're watching this one and then coaching more new replays?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Just give me 1 second. I gotta look for the folder.
Oh.
Looking for the replays right now. Interfaces. Where was it? The version? No.
It's you don't the replay folder. It's in documents.
Oh god damn it!
So just go to documents, and then it'll be in StarCraft 2, and then you just got to go to your whatever account it is.
Yeah. Replays. Player. God damn it! This one is empty. Okay, I got it. Just 1 second. I think it's this one. Okay, now I'm. I think it's this one. Yeah, pretty sure it's this one. Okay. Just 1 second. Can I do this? Oh, it works.
Yeah, you just drag drop on the Discord. Perfect.
Awesome.
So Discord's so nice, man. Makes your life easy.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, mine's loading. It's going to be you versus when it loads.
The game is 27 minutes.
Okay. It's a Terran, you said, right?
Yeah, a Terran is it should be 27 minutes.
Okay. On Turbo Cruise. Oh god.
Yeah. This map.
All right.
This
Step
map,
one of the coaching lesson is veto this map, dude.
All right. I mean, I like it.
Don't you dare play this map anymore. My god. This is like Zerg on hard mode.
LOL.
Like I'm not. This is legit what I think. I think this map is one of the worst maps for Zerg that I have seen in about like the last 3 years.
Okay.
It is so bad for Zerg. This is I haven't vetoed a map in like the last 4 seasons, but this is the first map I've vetoed in a long time. Just throwing it out there. Wait, you're Terran though, or this is a Terran vs Protoss game.
No, I'm Protoss.
Yeah, you're
I'm
Protoss.
the one. Yeah, the
Sorry.
other one.
Okay, never mind. I thought
It's
you were
okay.
Zerg here. Okay, we're good. All right. Anyways, okay. So take back what I said. You don't need to veto this. I'm a Zerg diehard, and this map is fine for Protoss and Terran.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna start it up. We're gonna go ahead and see what's going down. Yeah, man. TVP. Let's go.
I think this was a week ago or something, or
Okay.
5 days, something like that. Oh yeah, I got a comment at the end of the game and kind of VM. Yeah, you'll see.
Okay.
Because he pisses me off. You'll see why.
All right. Really quick. First thing is I like the I think the idea again you have is great with walling your something to the edge of the wall here to make the Reaper's life a little bit harder. But I think in general, what you should kind of go for is you should try to make a wall go from the outside of your base towards your resources. So like you're doing it behind the resources altogether, which means there's the entire base is still wide open to like an attack. Like the Reaper could go in your natural, or sorry, in your main, run around the Nexus, run out, and there's nothing stopping him. So like having it connect off of like, if you wanted to connect the mineral line to the wall, it would have been better if you did the bottom side of the mineral line to that bottom wall, because now that encloses the bottom side of your base and the main. And if the Reaper goes around the top side down to the side of your Nexus down below, he'd be stuck into your base. If you had like a gateway, a core, pylon, and maybe like a second pylon or something, like you can enclose the bottom side. So always try to enclose a side of your entire like terrain of your main to the side of the mineral line or the side of your resources in some way. Because then you prevent the Reaper from exiting. But right now there's no way the Reaper is going to be prevented from exiting anywhere. He can just run freely.
No, he can. Yeah.
You
have left your probes undefended.
Oh my god. How annoying is that?
The enemy is attacking your probes.
What is it?
Oh, sorry. It's I keep forgetting we're not watching this together. My bad. It's the engineering bay at
That's
your
all
natural.
Yeah.
It's with something that happens like this. It's really it's a judgment call with what you want to do. It is definitely safer to just get rid of it and delay your natural a little bit longer. Or you could be a little bit more greedy with it and you could just take a third as your natural. That's what I do a lot because I'm a Zerg player at heart and I'm I'm like, oh, let's fucking expand everywhere. But
I think I do that.
Okay.
I don't remember honestly.
Okay, we'll see how it goes. But just know if you don't expand, your correct response should honestly be taking your second gas faster. Because if you're gonna just kill the engineering bay.
Because you got the minerals,
Yeah, like you're just gonna oversaturate then, so you might as well take your second gas so your resources aren't oversaturated.
The enemy is attacking your probes.
Yeah, so you end up taking I just paused it now again. You end up taking another base at your third. Just know that if your plan is to do this, and your opponent, like if you're gonna eventually do this, you should just do this right away.
Yeah, because
because your probe, it just kind of chased the SCV for a while, and I think your probe, did it go back to the main? I'm gonna go back and look at that for a second. I want to see your pathing. So your probe comes down the ramp, it gets blocked, it chills there for maybe 5 seconds or so. It starts fighting the SCV, and then it runs back to the main because it's gonna die. You pull a new one out. Rather than fighting the SCV, I would recommend honestly just going immediately to take your third, and then the probe can come back and start smacking the SCV if you want it to. That's still building the engineering bay, because it's a lot of time that's being missed. Because if you think about it, your third could have been thrown down at. We're gonna check the timer here. So 1:18, your probe gets there and is blocked. It would take about 6 seconds for your probe to run from where it is now to a third base. Like especially the one you went to, it would take probably 6 seconds. So at 1:24, you can already afford it, and you could have a third thrown down at 1:24 by the time it would take you to get there. But now we'll speed it up really quickly here and look at when you actually take your natural at the third, and it's at 2:16 you take it. So it's like a full like 40 seconds late, pretty much, or like 50 seconds late, which is, you know, it's definitely a lot of time to be missing here.
Yeah.
It's your Nexus would already almost be done. It would be like 70% of the way done already. So just keep that in mind. If your plan is to take a third around, or your next base at the third, just do it right away.
Left your probes undefended.
Yeah, this guy's super cheesy with the bunker now too. A great thing you can do against this is if it gets out of hand and you're like really finding this annoying, you can always, I like that you built a stalker, and you're like poking it until your shields are low and then you back up and so you can regen. But one thing you can do is you can even, if the SCV stays there, it's going to repair and it's just going to stay as long as possible. Just make a battery. Make more stalkers, make a battery, and then you just kill it. No problem.
Okay.
Like, a Reaper can't really DPS through a battery. Like, it's going to take forever for a battery to run out of energy against just a Reaper. And you're like, the bunker will die first, basically, as long as you have like 2 or 3 stalkers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gateway count now. This, I know your build's been a bit hiccuped so far, a bit thrown off, but gateway count is a bit of a questionable thing. I'm gonna back it up once again, and I'm gonna look at your efficiency of your tech path.
Horrible, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's
Enemy is attacking your probe.
so. Here's a tip for you, just in general, for something you should work on. When the game is like starting up, and no matter what's happening to you, with like, oh, he's building an engineering bay, he's blocking me, he's being annoying, try your best to re-rally your Nexus to the gas as soon as your mineral line is 16. So
yeah, right.
yeah, so like what'll happen is every probe you're still going to be making probe, but it'll go into your gas now. But then you need to take like take a moment where like maybe every 10 seconds or something where you just kind of glance at the main and just keep tabs on it. Be like, how many workers are we on? Okay, we're on 2. Okay, now we're on 3. And then you can re-rally the Nexus again to the next gas, even if it's not even done yet. Let's just say let's say your build was like flowing perfectly, and you made it your natural a little bit earlier than than this game because like the guy didn't block you. And let's just say you have 16 probes in the main mineral line, 3 on the gas, and then you have 0 on the next gas, and you're currently only at 19 probes in total. But then you want to make probes 20, 21, and 22 to all saturate gas number 2. You can rally the Nexus on that gas even if it's not done yet. Yeah, but it has to have something built on it though. You can't just rally it to a geyser. It won't work that way.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
But yeah, if you rally it to an assimilator that's either under construction or is already done, you just fill it up, and then try your best to re-rally point your saturation to now the natural, and then you're good. And then you never have to do that again. It's only the first base that does that, because the reason why is because you want to hit optimal saturation of 2 per patch as quick as you can, and you just don't disrupt that anymore. You just keep it flowing as is. And if your build is a Nexus first build, or like, sorry, not Nexus first, it's a fast expand build off of a gateway first. If it's a build that expands early, you don't need to really worry about having like insanely fast gas timings, because you're not going for like some really quick like DT timing or Oracle timing, or you're not going for a timing per se of like as fast tech as possible, because you're investing into economy. So keeping your mineral line fully optimally saturated is ideal. And when you oversaturate like this, you're going to be ripping probes off now, and you also might rip probes off of ideal saturation, where if let's say you have 19 on the mineral line, you might rip off 3, but now which will make 16 out of 16, which sounds perfect. But what if you ripped like a good well saturated patch off, and now somehow you have like 3 on one patch and 1 on the other, because every patch had at least 2. But what if one of the patches that had 3 on it, you didn't rip a probe off that, but you ripped the probes off the patches that had 2 on it? So now you have 3, 3, 1, 1, 3, 3. So you know what I mean? Like, it could fuck up saturation.
Yeah. It has to be balanced.
Yeah. It just makes your build flow better. It like makes it'll make your resources go optimal, basically. And then when you're if you were doing it right too, like you can see your gas has been done for a while, and you weren't saturated. You weren't building probes. I think you were too fixated on chasing the SCV and stuff.
Yeah. That's sad, honestly.
That's okay, dude. It's you're just not focusing on the right thing, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, like because of this is throwing off your timing really hard to where now you want to go for a robo, but you can't afford one, and and because because of this, your minerals are getting kind of high, so now you're gonna start making more gates, and I think the more gates thing also might have been a reaction to the bunker, but you don't need them. You really don't. Like you can make one more gate when you start the robo. That's totally fine. But you're not going to be able to afford 3 gates and a robo off of an economy like this. So, the biggest tip of all would be...
Don't move the proofs.
The what, sorry?
No, sorry, don't move the workers.
Oh, so yeah, like I could harp on that and talk about that, but it's minor compared to what I'm going to say here.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing of all is I think you should focus less on what your opponent's doing and focus more on what you're doing. Like you can look and see what he has, but it's I think I think the only thing you should focus on what your opponent is doing is when you scout him with like a probe really early when nothing's really going on. And the only thing you want to look for is he expanding or is he proxying me? Like, am I going to get all in right now by like a 4-rax or something like that? Or like a bunker marauder rush? Or am I going to deal with someone who's playing pretty standard? And if it looks like your opponent's playing is playing decently standard, or like, maybe they expanded, you saw a command center, whatever, then you're fine. You can just literally be like, all right, I can focus on my build only now. I'm just going to focus on everything I'm doing. But if your opponent is a question mark, okay? Which is kind of like, I guess, kind of like this game. You saw, what was that, a barracks on his ramp? Yeah, you saw barracks on the ramp. So you're like, I don't know exactly what's happening here. He's got a barracks on a ramp. He's walled me out. He doesn't have a natural yet. And he's also building a bunker at my base. So I'm getting kind of... You might be feeling kind of worried or something like that. But you should just know, if this dude plays like this and your idea is to go for a robo, you are 100% fine to go for a stalker first, into a sentry second, into more stalkers continuously produced as long as you maintain it, and then make immortals, and you will defend one base proxy like this. The worst case scenario would be your natural would die, and you could just evacuate probes and retake your natural again once you overpower it with your units. But best case scenario is you just crush it, because you bring down to like an immortal because you'll have it really well timed. It'll be early, and an immortal. If you actually had an immortal, if this guy was actually committing to like an all in here, an immortal with batteries would just shit on everything so hard, especially backed up by stalkers. It would be really, really, really good. And then all you really got to do is worry about scouting him after your initial probe scout. Scout him again with like the sentry hallucination like we talked about last time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like right now, what I'm seeing though is your build's just feeling inefficient because you're not utilizing your nexus. You're not utilizing your gateway. You're letting them be idle while you're fixating on like a unit like his SCV earlier and now the Reaper. When in reality, all you needed to do was just have the right thing, the motion in mind, where you take your natural faster if it's blocking you, and then you also just make a stalker first, and now your stalker could literally just be on the side of your base. And it could be hockeyed on like hockey 1 or something. So if the Reaper shows up in your base, you go 1, move towards the Reaper, done. And then you go back to making sure like everything is flowing in terms of production and economy. So nothing's undersaturated or oversaturated. That should be your biggest concern, is the saturation. Because I would say, like, just to reiterate a little bit more in a different way, the biggest thing that has given this guy a lead over you is that you're reacting to this. Your reactions to this have just slowed you down more than anything, more than the damage he's done to you.
Yeah.
Like, he's only killed 400 resources worth of stuff. Well, it's growing now because the cyclone's here. But up until this point, I'm going to back it up to that point I was just saying. He killed your last probe here. So he's killed 400 resources worth of stuff, which is actually 8 probes. Still not the greatest thing. And I think it's just because your stalkers have just been really awkwardly positioned. But he's killed a decent amount of stuff. But even then, if we look at the worker count, okay, we have your opponent who's on 2 bases, and we have you who is on 2 bases as well. You're both, or you're taking a third now, but you're both essentially on 2 bases. If we were to go back here and add up every second that has gone by, on like we don't have to even look at his base because he's done it too. His SCV count should honestly be higher than it is. But if we were to go back and look at every single second that's gone by where you're not making probes because you're distracted looking at other stuff, it would, I guarantee you, it's more than 8. Like the amount of time that probes have been missing off of your Nexus production has probably been more, like, when I say more than 8, I don't know, maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but it's probably pretty close. Like your Nexus has been idle for a couple minutes already, like 10 seconds here, 15 seconds there, 10 seconds here, because you're, you know, every once in a while you'll have the Reaper and you'll just be chasing it and running around, or like pulling your probes to try and chase it. So my point is if you had still just been making, even with the probes you've already lost, which seems really bad, if you had just been making probes the entire time, you would still have an equal economy of the Terran. Because this Terran's also fucking it up and not making SCVs either.
Yeah, I can agree on that.
Yeah, so your production is definitely your biggest hindrance right now in this game. Minor efforts put into defending, and then major efforts put into just honestly getting your first 3 bases saturated optimally.
Mm-hmm.
And then spending, you know, accordingly. Like, okay, I can afford this, I can afford that, let's make this. Yeah, now the Cyclones are here, which is going to definitely be annoying for you. The biggest thing about Cyclone, I'm going to throw this out there really fast, because I don't think we talked at all about Cyclones last time. The biggest thing about a Cyclone that makes your life either really hard or really easy is if you have a Warp Prism, or if you have Blink on Stalkers, your life against Cyclones is really easy. But if you don't have either one of those tools, your life against Cyclones is going to be way harder. And the reason why is because Cyclone, the lock-on radius, if you're looking at the stream right now, you can see that when I mouse over the Cyclone lock-on, you can see like the little white checkered dots around it, and that's how big the radius is for it to initially lock on. But when it does, it pretty much almost doubles. It gets like a lot bigger, or like it adds on like an extra like 5 range or something, or 4 range. So it gets rather huge once it's locked on. But if you can reset the lock on if the unit disappears. So like for instance, if you have a Warp Prism, you can just load it, unload it, and the Cyclone lock on immediately just turns off, and it goes back on cooldown, which is 4 seconds. Or if you just blink away from it, blink is enough to get out of the range of it shooting you again as well, if it's already shooting you kind of at max range. And blink also not only can be used defensively to remove a cooldown of lock-on, but then while it's on cooldown, if you blink forward, you could probably kill a Cyclone as well. So blink is like with the other Stalkers, that is. So blink is super useful. Warp Prism super useful. But if you don't have either one, the best way to position your units is always by a ramp, if you can help it. And the reason why that's important is because you lose line of sight up a ramp. So if you lose line of sight, it's the same thing. Like loading or unloading a unit, it makes the Cyclone lose its lock-on. And you get free hits too when it tries to drive up a ramp. So you're just smacking it for free every time too. Because the thing about a Cyclone is, although it really will kill a Stalker really fast, it will also die to a Stalker really fast. Like they kill each other really quick.
Yeah.
So far, right now, from what we've talked about, do you have any questions or anything you want to talk about?
Only one, a silly one, but it's the when you start with the getting splitting the workers. I try to, as always, you say it's so important to split the workers. I try to do that. I only do it. I take 2 of the workers, put it on one of the patches on the far left, and then I go with the right one. But yeah, my question would be, how can you do both both sides on on the first 2 seconds. I guess it's by practicing, right?
Yeah, but like the initial split is what you're talking about.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it just takes practice. It's just mouse speed and accuracy. It's you don't that's something that's like you can practice it and
yeah.
like you would eventually get better at it, but it's something that's also really minor in the grand scheme of things. It's not it will help you, but it's not going to like drastically change your play or something like that.
The whole thing, yeah.
The biggest thing for you, I would say, is just maintenance of continuously doing it. Continuously, like for probe production, that will change your game way harder. Because I've noticed you, when something happens that distracts you, you're just neglecting.
Yeah.
So one of the best things you can do, this is something you should start doing every game. It's going to be a rhythm you can do with your hand. What control group do you like to use for like your army? Is it just 1 and like 1 and 2 or something?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
afraid so. Yeah.
Oh, that's totally fine. It's not bad. So what you wanted, what you should do, and also the other thing too is, do you have a scouting hotkey?
Scouting hotkey, not really. I mean,
Okay.
I used the one for the proof that goes first. That yeah. And
Okay.
then
Okay. Good. Okay, that's good. So this is what you should do from now on. When you're at the start of the game, what I want you to do is I want you to hotkey your first scouting probe to like 1 or 2, or you can do it to both. It doesn't really matter because you're gonna replace it anyways at some point.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I want you to have your nexus is always hotkeyed anyways. But when you're looking at your nexus at the very first, before you even scout, it's really easy. That's really hard to fuck up because nothing's happened yet. But then as soon as you scout, that's when things start to like hiccup a little bit, especially if you see things that deviate you from your plan. So what I want you to do is I want you to make it a habit to just, while you're scouting, just be like every 3 seconds, every like 3 seconds or so, be like 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5. Like one move command, like it's after you issue a command, I want you to hit the other one. So what, like 1 probe move, 5, 1 probe move, 5, 1 probe move, 5. Just get in the habit of doing it, because it's not going to always be like that. It's not going to always be like, it's going to be as simple as like 1 move 5, 1 move 5. It's going to get more complex as time goes on throughout the game. But if you just start getting the habit of doing that early game, it's gonna build a repetition of checking your economy every single time, even when you're in the middle of doing something else. So later, at first, it'll start 1 probe move 5, 1 probe move 5. You've scouted, you see what's going on. Let's say it's something that's gonna be distracting. It's gonna be something that's gonna be mildly aggressive. Now it turns into 1 stalker attack 5, 1 stalker attack 5, 1 stalker attack 5. So now you're suddenly making your stalker attack the places and do things while you're always looking at your nexus, and you're making sure probes are being built the entire time. Because the one thing that sucks about Protoss and Terran instead of Zerg is I can't tell you to spam make workers like you can with Zerg, because Zerg is paced by larva. But with Protoss, you just want to look at your nexus and be like, am I making a probe out of it? You just have to look at it and be like, am I or am I not? And you should always, what you should aim for is queue up a second probe when your first one's like halfway done.
Yeah.
Like any time after 6 seconds in the probe's production light cycle is okay to make another probe. If you make it closer to 12 without letting it finish before, if you get it closer to where like it's perfectly timed to where the second it's done a new one has already started, that's obviously perfect. But I would say anything is acceptable after halfway. Anything before that is a little lazy, because then you're like kind of just queuing up money that it's going to be stuck in your nexus for a long time.
Sorry, I do that.
It develops bad habits if you do that all the time, especially if you like queue up multiple, like 4 probes at once or something. But,
but yeah, only 1, yeah, on queue, yeah.
Yeah, but in general, if you can make it to where you're always hitting like 6 seconds, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you're not letting the probe finish before you start a new one, that's good. You're winning, basically. You're doing a great job. And then the other thing too is once you have multiple nexuses, instead of looking at the probe itself, what you should be looking at now is the little white dots. And you should just, now at that point, money is not as important as it was before. So now the 6 second rule doesn't apply anymore because you're not on your first nexus anymore. Now it's 2 white dots apply. So when you look at your nexuses, make sure there's always 2 white dots in there. So if you have 1, put another one in there. If you have none, well, you fucked it up, and now you need to put 2 in there. Does that make sense? Because like you can't really check the timer anymore.
And I truly do that.
Yeah.
I just some forgot to, but yeah, I check that.
No, it's good, but like it should always be a sequence that you're doing, and this sequence applies every single game up to the point when you have 3 base saturation. And once you have a third Nexus 2, it's the exact same thing as the 2 base rule, where you have you want to keep on all 3 Nexus now 2 white dots in there as much as you can when you can afford it, as long as you know you're not going to die to like an all-in. Because the second you hit 3 base saturation, the game suddenly gets way easier in terms of your macro, because the better off you were at setting everything up, the easier now the rest of the game is going to be. And now you're just going to be fucking, if you did it really well, you're going to be loaded with like the ability to just make an army super quick. You can max out before 10 minutes and be insanely powerful in the mid game. And then also it makes it easier too when if you macroed well like this and you also spent your money as you made it really well, if your opponent does any sort of a timing before you max, you'll have an army that's bigger than his. Like you'll just overwhelm him because you just have more. It's something that's hard to do, especially if your opponent's being aggressive at the same time. But that's why you really need to get in the habit of like one army unit move, check my Nexus. Okay, good. Like you always need to check it every time. And then when you're done checking your Nexus and your army's moving, and you know your army's not moving to die right now, like you have a moment to spare. That's that moment when you need to be like, okay, we need to make supply. We need to make my tech buildings. My robo's done. Maybe I need to make my robo bay now. I have a good saturation, so we need to make more gates, forge, whatever. Like whatever next building you're gonna make, that's the third thing in the step there. So it's 1, a move. Step 1. Step 2 is check nexuses and make sure pro production's good. Step 3 is finish, add in whatever macro element to this build we need at this point for build your building wise. And then you repeat it again and again. And you don't always have to move your units too, but you can just check your units. Be like, 1, Reaper's down the cliff and I have a Stalker on top of the cliff. I'm going to be like, 1, yeah, we're good. It's Stalker's still on the cliff. 5, go back to the Nexus. Just get in the habit of rotating. If you sometimes tunnel vision too hard and you get in the habit of sticking to one thing for too long, that's what makes you do things where it's like, if you're not rotating around and first you're sticking on your Nexus for too long and you're looking at it, you're just staring at it, and then the guy shows up with Reaper and now suddenly you're staring at the Reaper. Well, you're not rotating your tasks around in your head because you're kind of conditioning yourself to focus on one thing at a time, and now suddenly you're not macroing while you're dealing with the Reaper. So rotating your tasks around constantly is great, and this only applies again until you're saturated. And once you're saturated, then instead of rotating your task into your economy all the time, it's a lot less intense on your economy, and now it's a lot more intense on like scouting and attacking and like being like, all right, where should I attack, and then I can attack, stuff like that. So your mindset is definitely it's one thing at a time for too heavily, I would say, right now from this game.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, like, I just think you're way further behind right now than you should be. So it's going to make your game really difficult now. And doing the things we talked about will help a lot. To give you an example too, after this game's over, if you want, I want you to play a game with me where I want you to make a Reaper, and I want you just to attack me with a Reaper, and I want to pretend I'm you, and I want to show you optimally how you should play it. I'm not even kidding. Like, if you want to do that, I think it would be a good learning example. Because you might get some insight.
Yeah, I was just picturing myself playing with a Reaper. It's like, okay,
it's okay. I know you
more
probably.
or less what I have.
Yeah, it's okay.
But it's gonna be fun. Basically, because kind of something. But it's okay. It's okay. I love that idea. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll give you like a. It'll give you like a. An example where I don't really want you to play a full macro game with me. It's totally fine.
No. I get it.
But yeah,
just the part where the Reaper, the early stages. Yeah.
And it'll give you like a time or two with the game where you can compare your own games against that too and be like, oh, okay, well, ViBE against the Reaper at this time was at this supply and have this many probes, and I'm below that, so that's now I'm missing the quota here. I'm missing the checkpoint, so I need to work on that.
Sounds great.
You have now though, like the game's kind of lulled out. It's gone to this like passive mode, which is great for you at the moment because you have now fully saturated. Your composition's looking good. You're going into Storm as well, which I really like. The one thing though I would say is the reason why you're behind in supply though is honestly just because of the opener. It's it was difficult for you to maintain equal supply with him because of that. But I like that you're taking a fourth. It makes me really happy. You have the right ideas again. I love the double forge.
The enemy is attacking.
I mean, that was your teachings. You told me just 2 forges. I kept that. I mean, not everything you said, but some things that I try to. I mean,
yeah, no, it's good.
I aim
and
to.
The Colossus as well. I think I told you Colossus as well last time, which will make your life easier.
Yeah, you said like maximum 4 is good.
Yeah, it's just like a really healthy number that'll get you through the game a lot of different variations of Terran compositions.
Yeah.
Another thing too, though, that I don't know how much you've been doing, but but I do notice you're not doing it now, and I'll watch it now for a little bit longer, and because one of the things I see is your Nexus energy. But the second your probes are kind of done saturating 3 bases, you really need to make sure that all your chrono boost goes into your forges now until you're 3-3. You don't need a chrono boost for a 4th base. And you don't really need to chrono boost your units either at this point, because ideally you should have enough. You should have like your whole build flowing at this point really well, and you will be able to you will 100% be able to spend all your chronos on 3 bases going into 4 like you are now, if you just double chrono nonstop your forges. Because if we look at the upgrades really quick, Terran right now is 2-2, and you are 1-1. Which means that you're missing the quota on that.
Behind. Yeah.
Because you should be the one who's 2-2, he's 1-1. You should always be an upgrade ahead of him, basically. Which gives you, what it does is it creates windows for you to kill him. Because if the Terran's 2-2 and you're 3-3, suddenly your Zealots are like little mini Ultralisks, especially if you pair them with a Sentry. Because they'll have 5 armor, and a Marine at 2-2 is only doing 8 damage, so a Marine's actually only doing 3 damage a shot. It's doing less than half. Which is fucking insane. It's so good for Zealots.
From the shadows I come.
Alright. But yeah, again, you have the right idea, but yeah, I see you're not chronoing. So just keep in mind that, again, the key point there is when 3 bases are saturated, that's when you go chrono. Okay, you're doing it now. Good.
I try to remember to chrono them. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a tip I can give you too.
Maybe I should put it in
hold on, I got an
hotkey.
idea. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I have an idea for you. So what do you normally use number 2 for?
Number 2. Wait a second. The observer I got on my army.
Okay. So, do you scout his base with that, or is it just following your
army? Following my army, because sometimes I find myself, and this is gonna sound sorry stream, sorry everyone.
Wait.
I throw my observer.
I'm gonna guess what you do.
I throw my observer because it's with the army, and then I just F2, and it dies, and I'm like, fuck, I don't have any.
All right. Here's what you can do that makes your life easier. As Protoss, you should not make only observers that you put into your control group. You should have some observers on move command that follow your units, and a perfect unit to follow in this composition is a Colossus.
Yeah, that's what I do usually, but then I kind of select it when I
green box it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Sometimes, and I'm like, God damn it! Now I have to unselect it, and then I put it on number 2.
Do you green box it because you're like trying to select the Colossus specifically?
Well, I just green box because I wanna like add some units to my hotkey.
Okay, so let's say you have a warp prism, you just like green box everything and you go like shift 1.
Yeah.
Okay. okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm trying to give you some good advice here,
That
but
doesn't
it's
sound
like
like
what's
it's
learning,
okay.
it's learning how you play as well. For me, when I play Protoss, a lot of times when I make new units, I don't make them inside of my army already. I'll make them like nearby, and then I'll just add them in as you know as we go.
Or I can just double click. I can do that as well.
All right, if it's a habit of yours to like have an observer and two to make sure it doesn't die to like a missile turret or
No,
something.
no, I can change it. Something that's better. I am totally in for it.
I would say it's okay if you do that. The thing I was gonna recommend you do though, the whole reason why I brought this up in the first place, was because I was gonna say it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to add in one of your, not both, but just one of your forges to control group 2 until you can totally replace it whenever you want. But this would be a good, it'll be something that gives you good like momentum, pacing, memory basically. It'll like keep you understanding like how fast this goes for you, because a chrono boost lasts for 20 seconds, and knowing that off the top of your head is a lot easier than remembering that during the middle of a game of StarCraft.
Totally agree. Yeah.
So what you could do is you could have, like, again, if you remember what I was saying, where I was saying you rotate your shit around, like a move 5, check your thing. You could add in another sequence to that when you add in a forge, and you could go 1, a move this area, 2, look at it. And if you look at a forge right now on my stream, you can see there is a buff icon when it is under the effects of a chrono. So that could be something you could train your eyes to look at, just to go, is it there? And if it is, you're good still. If it's not, time to chrono.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So, and then again, it's not something you got to do all game. It's just something you got to do early, because upgrades are early, and then once they're done forever. And then you could do it up until the point when you need 2 for something else. I do the exact same thing, by the way, with 4 as Zerg with my upgrades. You just train your eyes to look at key things like, oh, look at the chrono. Okay, we're good. Chrono's on. And then you could also you could glance too at this one forge, and you could even take a moment to see how long you have until the upgrade's done too, if you really want to take it even one step further. So it's not just chronos. It's also you could just quickly look here, look at the chrono up boost buff, and then look at the upgrade itself and go, okay, well, it's almost done. So by the time I chrono the next time, I need to start 2-2. And then when it's ready, when something's ready to happen, you could just double tap the hotkey of your forge, like 2-2, and then your screen is here, and you can now select both forges, start both upgrades, or chrono both forges with Nexus. And then go back about your business with what else you're doing on the map. So yeah, I think that could help you organize things in the early game a little bit more. A big tip I'll give you, which in my opinion, I think it'll help you, but you can take it or leave it. It's really, every Protoss has their own playstyle. But a big tip I would say, I think would help you a little bit with organization issues, especially with your observers, is do not ever move your army to the exact location you're going to warp into on the exact spot. So if your plan is to like warp in off of a pylon, don't have your army already standing on it.
No, of course not. Yeah.
And if you're going to warp in with the prism, don't warp in with a prism in the middle of your army unless...
No.
The only time you'd ever want to do that is if you're all-inning somebody. Like if you're like doing a 2-base all-in and you're like, everything needs to be in the fight the second it spawns because it's like a charge lot all-in or something like that. Which you don't really gotta worry then about organization of observers and stuff because it's super all-in anyways. That's irrelevant at that point.
Yeah.
But if it's something that's more specific, something that takes more finesse, like for instance, Stalker, Zealot, Colossus, Archon, Templar, Observer, like a way diverse army that that's like a late game army. That kind of an army requires a bit more finesse. You don't have to be super impatient about how you do things. Like time is on your side basically if you're playing this way, and taking a moment to like make sure you have things organized is definitely in your favor. The worst thing you can do to yourself in situations like that is do things really sloppy really fast, and then suddenly everything feels like it's out of hand and it just feels like a mess, and you're like, oh shit, well now everything just feels like I can't recover and everything's just falling. Like for instance, if you're like, oh, there's cloaked units here and I just threw all my observers away because I was just frantically doing this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'll help. Yeah. Well, we're about to see a fight for you now.
Yeah, usually it reacts so late.
Another tip. Here's another tip. This will help you a lot. Whenever you're passively sitting around your base, there's two things you can do that are really cost efficient, and they both are very effective. If you're kind of chilling and you're trying to max out and you're just waiting for that like optimal army, one of the things you can do, like I was saying before, is you can spread out some observers around his base with the oversight mode, which you kind of did this game. You have 2 of them. They're really spread. You do have a little bit of vision as to what's going on though. This map is a bit of an awkward one, I would say, because there's like 3 different exits around the center of his base.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have the right idea there with that. It gives you like I love the observer on the bottom, even though it's in the range of a missile turret, because it gives you.
Yeah, I was thinking. Right. Like, what the hell is that? Yeah.
It gives you like tabs on when he's moving out or coming home. That's great. Because like if you notice that on the minimap, it gives you time to react. Another thing you can do is every time you expand, if you notice how some of your bases are right next to the fog, like this is just the way Protoss works. You take a base, you're next to Fog of War now. What you can do is you can build a pylon in the middle of the Fog of War, in the middle of the open area that is next to your base. So like just one pylon. Because that way, that one pylon, even if it dies, it's just 100 minerals, but that 100 minerals is like essentially a scout that is going to warn you that your base is about to get attacked. That is going to be way more valuable than 100 minerals.
Gives you a couple of seconds to react,
Yeah, exactly. And a couple of seconds can make or break a good or a bad engagement in this game.
Exactly.
So yeah, start putting a pylon in front of a new base in like the area your opponent would have to walk by to attack your base at. And we're talking like a full screen like the head. So if you're looking at the stream right now, if this is your base right here and you want to cover it with a pylon, you'd want to put the pylon like right there. Like literally a full screen like the way. You wouldn't want to put it like right there. That's too close because it won't really give you that much of a warning. So yeah, like here. Yeah. Once you see it on the stream, yeah. Like there is perfect. Because it gives you warning if he comes down the ramp.
No, here's too close. Yeah, here.
Indeed. It'll just give you so much more of a warning. It'll be perfect. All right. So far, again, while we're going, any more questions about anything?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have anyone on my mind right now.
Your warriors seek the enemy's blood. You have left your probes under your nexus point is under assault.
Okay. I'm going to expand even further upon what I just said. I want you to actually get in the habit of putting a pylon, have a probe that is literally, it's called Pylon Boy. It's a Pylon Boy. And what this probe is going to do is it's not only going to build pylons on the outer side of your bases, but your army, what you're looking for is you're looking for one big fat engagement. That's your goal here. I can tell because you're not actually trying to like launch counterattacks. You're not trying to like multi-prong him. What your goal is you're like, hey, fight me, and if you do, I win. Which is that's a valid way to think as Protoss, because the composition you're going for will actually roll the shit out of his army if you take a big fight. Like Colossus AoE plus Storm AoE plus a bunch of Zealots charging in to kill them, you're gonna win. So what you should do is you should eliminate massive clumps of fog, and this map is I would say a bit more obvious to look at if you think about it like that. So if your army is where it is right now, okay, you're in the bottom side of the map because you just pushed him away from your base a second ago. You replant the pylon here. You plant the pylon over here in the middle of the map. You plant the pylon again on the top side of the map. Maybe even plant the pylon one more time way the fuck up here on the top side of the map. It's just like, it's like little checkpoints that you can use that will always guarantee that you're going to be in the right area at the right time. And then you should, the way you should always be thinking too is as a mindset of a player of StarCraft is if your opponent kills a building, okay? Let's just say, there's 2 ways this can go. Let's say he kills a pylon and you see that and you're like, oh, he killed my pylon. You move that direction to go catch him before he gets to your base. You catch him, you fight him, you kill him. That's one way it goes. The other way it goes is let's say he kills a pylon. He now disappears again into Fog of War. You move up there, to stop his army. He's not there yet. He should be, but he's not there. You immediately send a scout forward, and then as you're sending a scout forward, what your goal should be now is you immediately relocate to the heart of your base. That is what you should start doing. The only thing that would change that is if your scout reveals he's still there, then you're still kind of there yourself. So now you go, okay, he's here, so we can now commit to the fight. Let's push forward to where he is now, and let's try to kill him. The worst thing you can do, though, is allow yourself to be fogged out. Have your opponent reveal himself once, and then your opponent disappears, and you move to the location he appeared at. And it's the most scary as well if it's a side of the map, and then suddenly your opponent appears on the complete opposite side of the map, and you're way out of position.
Yeah.
You never want to be on the side of the map if your opponent is MIA. You always want to be in the heart of your base, because it means that you have the least travel distance to any one of your bases to defend it. It gives you the best odds to defend every base. And the way to really dictate that that's not going to happen to you, that you're never going to be fogged out and like blind, is going to be if you just periodically throw down like a pylon. If you're going to play really passive like this, it would cater to you so hard. If you just went, all right, I'm going to throw a pylon down there because it's a big foggy clump of map. I'm going to throw a pylon down there because it's a big foggy clump of map. And it doesn't have to be the entire map. It just has to be areas that you're currently trying to control on the map, because you're defensively looking for a fight. Like, you want him to attack you because you're going to crush his army. And then when he does that, if you do successfully crush his army, now suddenly you counterattack and you just win the game. You know?
Yeah.
Because like that moment where you're like, oh god, where could he be? That just it gets eliminated if you actually successfully take a fight and you kill him. Because now he doesn't have an army.
Your nexus is under assault.
So yeah, throwing a few pylons down as you expand and take more of the map will help you out so much. And you can throw them down between your bases too, when there's foggy areas that could potentially be abused by your opponent.
Your nexus point is under assault.
And with your army too, you have Templars in 3, which I like a lot, and you have you have all your units in 1, which I think is totally fine, and you have Templars in 3. I want to see
if they are mixed or they're isolated. I wonder that too.
I think you have your Templar in 1 and in 3.
I should have it isolated from the rest. Okay. Should, honestly, I'm there to say.
I think in terms of organizing your army, it's not the worst thing to have them all in the same one, but I think it kind of, this is another thing that kind of falls into the situation of doing one thing at a time. It doesn't keep your mind bouncing around multitasking. It's like thinking about it like this. It's a similar concept from early on in the game when I was like telling you 1 scout, 5 check nexus, 1 scout, 5 check nexus. Even if you've already done it, you just do it again and again every like 5 seconds or 3 seconds or something, because you're not doing anything else anyways. But you're telling your mind to monitor. You are telling your brain to monitor every task that needs to be monitored, rather than initiating one task and kind of just going, well, that'll happen eventually, and then I'll just go back and do another one when I think it's time to do that. Because they're like the way that a player plays StarCraft really fast is they don't actually when they tell their units to do something. When you first start learning how to do this, you never tell your units to do something and then expect to hit that timer and then tell them to do something else. That's never how you want to learn how to play the game. Eventually, you'll evolve as a good player, and you'll start initially like internally being like, I know exactly how long this is going to take because I just can feel it. I've done it so many times and I just know. But when you start being like a really fast player and like a really efficient player, it's all about repeatedly maintaining it. It's like, okay, check it. Okay, check it again. Okay, check it again. Okay, check it again. Okay, check it again. And you'll develop, you know, like these internal clocks that you'll have because you check it so often.
Mm-hmm.
And it also, if you check a lot of things all the time, where it's like, check my probe scout, check my nexus, check my probe scout, check my nexus. I'm moving on the map by going 1A, 3A, 1A, 3A, 1A, 3A. It keeps you bouncing around doing things, and it makes you able to micromanage more things at once. Whereas if you focus on one thing at a time, where you're like, all right, check my economy. I'm getting attacked. Check the attack. Okay, the attack's over. Go back to checking the economy. Okay, everything's in one control group. One control group, go this way. It makes you do things a lot slower paced. It doesn't keep your brain fully functional, I would say, during a game. It keeps your brain kind of like stagnated because you tell your brain to do something every once in a while, but then you're kind of just waiting for it to happen. And that should never be how you think when you play StarCraft.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
Keeping your brain active the entire time is definitely going to benefit you so much more. So one of the things I was going to say about your control group is that's a benefit too right there in itself, where if you get in the habit of going 1A move, 3A move, 1A move, 3A move, and you might fuck it up sometimes. I guarantee it'll happen if you're not used to it. It happens to everybody, especially if it's something you're changing about your play. But once you get used to it, it'll feel like you feel like you'll have more control of everything, just so much better. But the other thing too, as to what it'll do is, for instance, right now, if we look at the game on my on the stream here, I'm gonna hit play and watch what's gonna happen with your unit positioning and what he's doing. Terran just loaded up medevacs as you were killing him, and he flew away. If you had no Templar in your control group 1, you could have hit just literally 1, and you could have Stalkers would then take the priority, and you could have blinked forward, and you could have focus fired medevacs. Even if your whole army selected, you could still focus fire medevacs with your entire army, because Zealots and Colossus and Immortals are not going to attack the medevacs. They're going to attack what's closest anyways. They're just going to attack what's on the ground. But the Archons and the Stalkers will if they're in range. And the Stalkers will be like this many Stalkers will one-tap a medevac and kill it. And then one-tap the next medevac and kill it. And suddenly, if you would have blinked your Stalkers, like, for instance, right now, you could have blinked forward and you could have popped one medevac. He could have loaded his units as you popped the second medevac. And then the third medevac could have maybe made maybe he gets out, maybe he doesn't. Depends how fast he is at it. But if he does get out, you know, then maybe if there's enough ground, you could blink again and chase it, and then now you get on it and kill it. If there's not enough, maybe he gets maybe the one medevac can get out if he plays it really well. Because I guarantee you could kill 2 medevacs here if you blinked in right now, no matter how good this guy is. But if he's really quick at reacting, he might be able to save 1 medevac, or maybe they all die. But it's just another thing where if you just prioritize that and you played it efficiently, because you're looking at priorities here, you get rid of this, and this is now a problem that's erased from the game. It's no longer a factor. So it's not something you gotta keep tabs on and be like, fuck, there are 3 medevacs up there that I gotta worry about.
There are no minerals left.
And now they're running to your main, and now it's something you're gonna have to once again go back to your main for to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, this was gonna be one of my questions, but
Sure. What's up?
no, I was going to say the structures, but I don't think I mess up too much, so I can easily go in, go out. I don't struggle to get in.
Oh,
But-
your base like SimCity layout.
Yeah. I think this one is okay, but
Yeah, I
sometimes I fucked up, and it's so difficult to get in fast and get in and get it out.
I
fast.
think if I were to critique anything about your placement, I would say maybe the Stargates should be a little bit behind.
Yeah.
And it's not because
More in the main. Yeah.
I don't think it's because it's like, oh, it's fucking your units up really hard. I think your unit, like, you've spaced them out well enough for units to go in and out of that no problem. The only thing I don't like about it is it's actually in a tech structure that can get sniped really
Exposed.
easy, and yeah, they're exposed and they could die. And this tech structure is like, I would
Valuable,
I would rather have them like above your gas in your main or something like that, something more safe located.
Concealed. Yeah. Yeah, I got another silly question. If
Sure.
I just select my army right now and I just tap, I guess I select the stalkers. Do I select only them, right?
Or are you talking about when I
Like-
tell you to blink?
Yeah.
You don't have to select only the stalkers. Stalkers, if you tell that, like, if you were to go group 1 right now, if the Templar were not in that army, everything else in that army does not have an ability. And the way subgroups work in StarCraft is anything with an ability will always be the first unit in a group, which will be the
Yes.
primary target. So a Templar is a priority unit over a Stalker. So if I green box, if I just literally green box Stalkers and this whole army, Templars will be first, because the
Yes.
Templar takes priority. If there were sentries in this army too, a Templar would be
So-
first, a sentry would be second, and a stalker would be third.
Just a second. Okay.
But now, since you don't have any sentries, which is fine, and if your Templars were isolated, as I think they should be, it would just be stalkers now. Stalkers would be priority.
Yeah.
So if you told your army, if you just had one blink, your stalkers would automatically blink, and it'd be fine if your whole army came back here to fight this off, because your army is pretty much here anyways. I wouldn't mind that. Getting rid of this problem is ideal for you, so that's fine. But yeah, your stalkers would automatically blink on their own. They wouldn't have to be like individually selected to be able to do that.
When they start with the drops, yeah, they mess up so much with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's
'cause it keeps you like busy. It keeps you like questioning where he is, and it's just distracting.
Warriors seek the enemy's blood. Your nexus point is under assault. Field depleted.
So here's a perfect thing to talk about. Okay, if you were earlier on in this game, if you were playing defensive,
Oh fuck, you know.
what's up?
Sorry. No, I was saying fucking no because I got the Banshees. I didn't remember I don't have enough servant with my army.
Oh, it's okay. So, and like at this point in the game, if you were doing the things I was talking about earlier, where I was like, you build a pylon, you just cover the fog areas, so you always have your army in the right spot at the right time. And let's just say your opponent never takes a big fight, okay? And now you're at the position where you're like, I'm gonna max out. I'm gonna rotate my tech now into Stargates. I'm gonna go for something more like higher tier, higher tech, more expensive. What you could do now, if you've successfully guarded your base like this throughout this point in the game, there is nothing bad about throwing down a few cannons. You'll get faster at doing things like this as you get higher, more adept with doing this and just higher level. But if you were like, all right, my army's in the heart of my base, I have everything kind of scouted well, I'm ready for a fight if it happens. But now, I'm going to throw down like 4 cannons at each base. Like seriously, like 4 cannons. I'm going to spend a lot of my minerals making a ton of cannons. So 4 cannons, 4 cannons, 4 cannons, 4 cannons, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you're going to make like 2 batteries as well per base. So 4 cannon, 2 battery. And you spread it out to be like this. Let's just say battery, battery, cannon, 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 cannon. Okay? You'll see the green boxes that I make in a second.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, like you just spread them out along the base.
Okay.
And then now your base is suddenly covered really well if a drop shows up. Let's say your army is currently going to move out here, and you have like 190 of 200 supply as you're moving out, and the drop shows up right here. Okay, the drop flies into your base, just 1 drop of Marines, and as he drops right here, he's getting shot by this cannon, and he's getting shot by this cannon, and then on top of that, you have a pylon here next to a nexus that you're like, oh well, if these cannons look like they're not going to get the job done, I could just be like 4 or 5 zealots. Or stalkers or whatever the hell you want to make, Suddenly, you just dealt with the drop super easy. And doing this is just like, it's like safely guarding your base. Like this base looks great, by the way. This your third base. This base looks amazing because it's well defended. It has a couple of batteries. It's well positioned. I would say if you put like 1 more cannon here, it would be flawless. It would be perfect. Because then there would be no way he could drop like your gases and harass that either from like anywhere. Like right now, he could probably drop right there and start killing probes out of range of your cannons. But yeah, just like 1 more cannon above your nexus would be perfect. And suddenly, all these probes are safe. You don't need to rebuild them. You don't need to worry about them. The only thing you got to do with these probes is maintain them on good saturation when they start mining out, and you can do the same thing on another base. And you can just consume the map this way. If you're confident about taking a fight with your opponent because you think you're going to win the big fight, which is very realistic. Your army composition looks pretty scary at the moment, and you're just worried about instead your base getting fucked over. Just adding on a few cannons and batteries at every single base is a great idea to make sure you never get disrupted mining. Because if you think about it, like in the sense of, if you make 4 cannons and 2 batteries, and you get dropped, suddenly the drop does nothing, and you're good to go. You invested into that though. That's an investment you made, but but you're still mining, so it pays for itself. Then you're fine. But if you think about it in a way where you make a base, you just mine from it, you have no defense there at all, and suddenly you turn your entire army around to go defend it. Let's say you lose like 6 probes in the process as you run away from the drop as well, as he kills them as you're running. And now you go back and defend it. Your base doesn't die. but your Nexus is now like out of shields, and it took like 200 damage on the main part of the Nexus. You get the medevac doesn't die; it just flies away, and now it's gonna go somewhere else. And you're like, well, fuck. Is it gonna go to my main? Is it gonna go to my natural? It's still out. It's still at large, and now what it's really doing is the amount of time your probes had to pull off the mineral line, and even some of the probes you lost while pulling away from the mineral line, was the exact same, if not more detrimental to your economy than it would have been just to make the static D. Because now you're losing so much mining time, which is more valuable than just building the static D. If, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
And if you build static D like this at all your bases, suddenly it doesn't matter if he goes to your third. It doesn't matter if he goes to your main. It doesn't matter if he goes to your fourth. Every base is guarded. Because the guy allowed you to get a diverse, scary death ball of Protoss. And you've also used your time wisely to secure your bases to where when you move out with the death ball, you're not suddenly going to lose your entire economy. It's the exact same thing that I do on my stream all the time when I'm Zerg and I go Brute Lord Infestor. I make spines all over my bases. Because if my opponent wants to counter me and pressure me while I'm in the middle of the map with a slow-ass army, it's still easy to defend it because I have static D that's going to buy me time, if not defend the entire attack by itself. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's something I think you should definitely be doing. You should be adding in static D. Like, you should be defending yourself, building up your army, and then the one of the biggest things you should do before you actually go for a fight aggressively, unless your opponent takes a fight. If your opponent ever takes a fight against you when you're defensive, you're more than welcome to go kill them. Always. But if your opponent's not aggressive and he's also passive, 100% build yourself static D before you take a fight. Always. Build yourself that beautiful static D so you can move out safely.
Your Nexus point is under assault.
That way you don't have to deal with this shit, and it's just like, oh my god, it's so annoying. Because your army running around continuously back and forth like this is definitely losing you the game more and more. Because he's actually doing damage since you're not ready for it. Because you don't have static D. Because he's always hitting you in the base that you're not at. And the other thing too is he's allowed, if your opponent's doing this to you, he's allowed to make like all the economy he wants for days. And if he consumes the map faster than you, just know that every single minute that goes by in the game, it's harder to expand because you guys expand closer towards each other.
Yeah.
So if you're allowing him to control the area before you do, it's harder to break it than it is to just establish it. Like, if you're trying to break a planetary to then expand there, that is more difficult than expanding there when nothing's there. And that's going to happen to you if you're continuously chasing his units on your side of the map and you're always defensive. And you're being stuck on defense like this because you're not prepared for it.
Your Nexus point is under assault.
And you're being forced to do things like storm cloak banshees.
That's really awful, but in terms of needs, you do something. Oh man, I found myself in this position. I was like, oh god damn it.
Yeah. Ryguy, thank you very much for the
Just tell me that I can sell it. No, I don't. Man.
Oh god. Sorry I didn't say earlier, but coaching lessons. Thank you, dude.
Oh yeah, the nuke.
Your Nexus point is under assault.
Okay. So this guy, he's just loving that he can keep you defensive like this. Again, if you had static D, all this pressure would have been shut down. It's like little, like 4 to 8 supply pressure, 10 supply pressure. It's really minor pressure.
Yeah, but
Your Nexus
and now look, this is so we haven't even gone into everyone's vision yet. You're doing something that I don't necessarily agree with, but I think the reason why you're doing this is because you're getting impatient. You're getting annoyed because you're like, fucking hey, this guy is like attacking me everywhere and it's pissing me off. I'm tired of it. I'm just gonna kill you. I want this game to end. I don't want to play this anymore.
I was so, well, not mad, but I was just, impatient, as you said.
Yeah.
I was pissed, kind of.
So, perfect thing you could have done, let alone the whole static dig thing we just talked about, which would make this way easier to deal with. If you, if you sent out one zealot, I always tell people to do this. Send out one zealot on either side of the map. One zealot along the bottom, all the expansions on the bottom, and one zealot on the top. And you want to hit his most exposed base. And also, if you're looking for a fight against his army, it wouldn't be a bad idea either to go to where his army is. Because if you're looking to fight his army because you are the one with the death ball, a base trade is probably not going to be what you want to do then. Like, you're going to want to fight him. So, and like, I totally agree that you can, because you have Tempest, you have fucking Colossus, you have Storm, you have Carrier. You have an army that's like fucking kind of good. Like it's a little diverse, but it's still really good overall. I would say in this position, I would almost recommend not getting carrier at all and just going pure Tempest for the air units. Because carrier, if you don't have the thing about carriers, if you don't have a lot of them, the interceptors are gonna die really easy, and then they're gonna do nothing. They're gonna be like paperweights.
Yeah.
But yeah, you moved out. I'm gonna show you everyone's vision in a second here, but you did move out blindly in fog. This guy, however, did not. You're not moving out against him blindly though. He saw where your army was with his harass. He sees you're not in the north with his banshee. He sees you're not in your base with like in your natural with his medevac. He sees that you ran by his ravens because you just killed his turrets last time with his your army ran by the ravens. And now he sees you're not here anymore with his ravens. So he has tabs on you where he should be thinking, this guy is going to attack me in the bottom. So you're giving this guy the ability to make the choice for you if he wants to base trade you or if he wants to fight your army. And depending on how this guy wants to deal with that will be how he wants to deal with it. But look at his army. It's in the complete opposite side of the map as you. So you can tell this guy does not want to fight you because it's actually pure bio. And it's something that's not well suited to deal with what you got. Like pure bio is not going to deal with Colossus Storm, Mass Gateway very well. It's just not. Unless you got like these clutch ass EMPs and he somehow sniped your Colossus really fast. But the one thing about his army that is there and is apparent though is he has Stimpak and he has a lot of Marauders. He has 19 Marauders. That is very scary when you think about how fast that shit can kill your base. So this guy definitely, this guy is like looking for a base trade, and you're giving it to him right now by not paying attention to the map.
Yeah, fucking hell.
So again, if you just did that like static D shit, you would not feel pressured by this guy's harass at all. You'd just feel like he's throwing shit away, basically. And then on top of that, if you scouted the sides of the map, not only would you see where he is, you'd also see what kind of composition he has, and you'd also see if he has any risky, vulnerable bases. And if we look at the map right now, you'd see there is a fucking isolated planetary in the top. Yep. And you'd see there is a planetary again on the bottom that just has turrets defending it. And just throwing it out there.
The top one, it was exposed. Yeah.
If you throw like 15 zealots at a planetary that has no workers at it, you kill it. It'll die. Especially if you're level 3 weapon upgrades. Like that shit will just die. So if you were like, oh look, his army's in the top of the map, and I'm going to leave my entire army in the heart of my base, like ready to defend that if he pushes me. And I'm just going to go send like 15 zealots at his other base in the bottom of the map that's so exposed. Because Terran can't warp in, Terran can't recall. Terran was just out of position, then he's out of position. You could just knock out a planetary. And that might make him go, oh shit, I really want to take a fight now, because that was bad. I just lost the base for no reason. And then if he doesn't take a fight, you can just do it to his next base, the next most isolated base. You're like, well, I don't have to necessarily fight you if I don't want to. I can just kill another one of your bases with a bunch of zealots. And you just put him in this weird position where it makes him feel uncomfortable. Or like, you know, you could play like that. It's very realistic for you to play like that. But let's just say you don't want to play like that. Let's just say you want to take that fight. At the very least, you're going to scout where his army is, like we were saying a second ago, and you look to take a big fight against his location of the map that he's kind of like situated on, where he's clumped up on.
It's under assault.
But as it is, you're going for a base right now, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Those nukes are interesting. I think he was hoping you were going to recall. He was like hoping you'd walk into it off of like a fancy nuke timing. Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that he knew me like that. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I
don't
think
understand. Now I understand.
Yeah, he wanted you to recall and then walk into it, and then he'd be like, "Yeah, fucking gotcha. It's going on Reddit. This was so big brain, 200 IQ." But yeah, like you can prevent this entire situation from happening if you just control the map at a better pace for yourself, which is again everything we've talked about up to this point. And then if you look at it now too, what just happened is you just left like 30 supply. How much? We'll actually add it up exactly. You have 11 zealots, which is 22 supply, and you have 5 stalkers, which is 10 supply. So you have 32 supply out of your army to recall back to your base. And now you're fighting an army where your opponent also has a bit of a higher army supply than you in total as it is too. He's got 141 and you've got 127. His entire army is basically in this fight. I literally I'm checking the map right now and I don't really see any units that are not SCVs anywhere else besides his main clump of army. So that's everything basically. For you though, you have 2 Archons up here, which is 8 supply. You left 32 supply down here. And you have, you also are down by 14 supply. So, what is that? 14 plus 32 is 46, and then plus 8 is 54. You have 54 supply down in this fight when you recall.
Jesus Christ.
So it's huge. Like it's a big like it's why you get steamrolled here. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm assuming that's what's about to happen.
I'm just amazed that this game lasts 27 minutes from this moment right now. I'm like, what the hell is going on, man?
I imagine you might get some like good storms or something, and you might also fuck him up pretty bad, like he's about to kill you. But his army is also really replaceable. He's just going. It's like he's going for the equivalent of like Archon, or not Archon, sorry, like Zealot, Stalker, and like Phoenix or something. Like, you know, like these units are super cheap to replace. The most expensive thing he has is Ghost, and he doesn't have a lot. He only has 8 of them. You do get some juicy storms on him. That's nice. But he kills what looks like your entire army. And he's also nuking.
Yeah.
And the nuke actually might land. So he kills army.
I think it does. Honestly, I don't remember.
Oh my god. I feel like he already won that fight. He just nuked himself out of your base. Okay. Well, there you go. That's why the game doesn't end.
Oh, okay.
I think this army showing up again would have actually ended up killing it anyways, but luckily for you, he nuked off a lot of his own units, so this army is still fully standing now. This part of your army, but yeah, like you just got to be a little more patient and just realize that the biggest thing I want you to really think about to yourself is you should feel like you should be confident. Even if a fight doesn't happen, if you're the one expanding, taking bases, consuming more of the map, scouting with like a Zealot on the side periodically, having pylon spread, just making that your goal, and going, well, when a fight happens, I'm going to crush it, and if it doesn't happen, I'm going to periodically keep checking what he's doing, where he is, and I'm going to try my best to look at composition whenever that happens. So if your opponent harasses you, but never fully fights you, and let's just say, hypothetically, you're worried about the fact that while he's harassing you, he's throwing away his current army composition and he's making a better one.
Yeah.
That's when you should not feel like you should feel pressured to just take big fights right away. You should feel like if your opponent takes a fight big enough for you to be like, all right, I can counterattack that base and kill it because you just threw away way too many units. That's fine. But if your opponent does not take big fights and he loses 10 supply here, 10 supply there, you should be thinking to yourself, I'll send like a Zealot here, a Zealot there, and maybe a Zealot into his natural or something. Just run straight into the heart of his base. Or an Observer. And look and see what he has. And if you're like, wow, he's going BCs now or something. Well then, you don't necessarily even have to send your entire army at once. You can do this exact same thing he's doing. You can send 10 Zealots to the top of his base. You can send 10 more Zealots and now 10 Stalkers to the bottom of his base, on the bottom side of the map. And you can start picking off things here and there. Keep him going back and forth. Back and forth. And meanwhile, you just threw down like fucking 4 or 5 Stargates, and now you're just remaxing into an army that's going to deal with that better.
Sounds great.
Yeah. There should only ever be 2 triggers for you to move your entire army across the map and attack. And one of those are if you scout where his army is and you go, I could fuck that up. I'm going to take that fight. And you just do it. Because you know exactly where he is and you're not going to get countered. Because you just saw him like very really, like in the seconds before you take the fight. The other would be if your opponent just took a fight against you and failed, and then you go, well, he's dead now, so I'm just going to go counter push him and kill his base. Those are the only 2 times you should ever take a fight if you're going to play macro like this. Everything else is a risk. And you can see it's happening again. You're moving out in the middle of the map, and he is now base trading you for a 2nd time.
Oh god. This is so awful.
No, it's good though. It's like I really like this one because it's giving you a lot of understanding of like game tempo.
Yeah. Truly, yeah.
I think
Yeah, at
you're,
this moment I was quite
Go ahead.
tilted.
you were what? Sorry.
I was kind of tilted. Tilted. Yeah, I was
Okay,
tilted,
okay.
not kind of.
I think
I
it.
was like, I gotta do some damage, but yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Right. Like you're feeling like you have to do that, but you really, if you play the game more patient and more controlling,
Yeah.
you will never feel like that. You'll make your opponents feel like that.
I mean, sometimes I got this patience, but sometimes they got in my mind just like this guy.
Yeah, I think it happened too because of the medevac drops, the cloak banshee harass, and the raven harass.
Yeah.
And again, all of that would have been shut down if we with the stuff we talked about earlier. It would like all of it would have been super just. just
Yeah,
gone.
I was like, I just put a couple of cannons, a couple of batteries. I was thinking as I finished the game, and I was thinking, oh god, I just put some defenses, I would be fine.
Yeah. And now you're in that same situation again where you're turning around and coming home again after he's killing your base. And now what's happening too is your army is so scattered, it's just out of position. And now it's gonna, you're fighting with like clumps of your army rather than your entire army at once. Oh,
Yeah.
These Archons are stuck, by the way. I didn't even realize that. No wonder why they're still
Yeah,
here.
those two Archons, poor guys. Yeah.
I was like,
I was like,
"Damn,
what?
look at these Archons in position to kill some of this air army as it flies over." And I was watching them try to walk out. They're like, we're too fat.
Yeah. I don't know how those guys got in there, but no, don't ask me. I don't know how that happened.
Funny.
Yeah, it is.
You want to know the funny thing? I think even though you just killed that pilot, I think they're still going to be stuck.
I don't remember. I
Because
think
I think these
they
pylons
do.
are this pylon specifically is too close.
Oh my god. No. Fuck. Hey, I'll always bring you something funny, man. Come on, man. This is like Monty Python. Oh my
the
god.
medevacs are just flying around your base right now. These Archons are like, we're gonna get them. We
Yeah,
got him.
but
Wait,
we
hold
got
on. There's a wall.
Fuck me, man.
No, the game's pretty much
Oh,
over now.
God.
Like you're definitely
Yeah.
dead because your mining is kind of ceased to be. You have one base mining.
Yeah.
And your opponent's on 1, 2, 3, 4. Like his mining is gonna crush yours. Yeah, you can see right there. I just opened up the income tab. Like he's definitely, he can just throw units at you inefficiently all day and win the game now. Like control has been all lost at this point.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, here comes the DM. Zealot, son of a bitch.
I don't know what the soap thing meant, but
It's son of a bitch.
it. Oh, okay. It didn't piss me off. What came next pissed me off.
Okay.
Like GG, man. I'm like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, this guy's is like arrogant. He's annoying.
Yeah. I mean, I can take it, dude. You drop me, you do some piss me stuff, but
But here's the perfect thing though. Okay, check this out. This guy,
sure.
he's winning the game and he's already fucking tilted.
Yeah.
He's already annoyed because he's like fucking zealots, goddamn Protoss. Like,
Yeah.
he's already that kind of a guy. Imagine if you played this game more like controlling, more precise with all that shit we talked about. And every time he's dropping you, he's like, oh, it failed again. Oh, my harass failed again. My harass failed again. My harass failed again. And then you're like, and then now you're just controlling the map and he's like, every time I fucking attack this guy, he's always in position. I never get to harass his base because his fucking pylons are everywhere. And you're just pissing him off more and more. Then suddenly, you're the one that's just like, well, okay, now my opponent's taking a fight. That doesn't make any sense because he's getting flustered. He's getting frustrated. He attacks into me. He dies, and now I just win the game. And then he says what he just said, but he's saying it as he's getting eliminated from the game because he's like,
Exactly.
he's making choices that are just out of frustration. Like it could go the other way so easily in your favor.
Yeah. Now I'm watching this and I'm like, how the hell I haven't said GG or like left the game already, because this is
It's because
completely lost for.
It's because I don't think you had a full understanding of his bases. Like
No, not
you,
really.
this one was gone earlier, and that was from the base trade. He rebuilt that since the base trade. But if you look at the minimap from your perspective, you're like, well, he might not actually have that much. But you never scouted the top left, and he's had this base forever. And you know that he has middle left, and you can't really do anything about it at the moment. But you also think to yourself, well, I killed bottom middle and I killed bottom right. So he's not as ahead as he was once, and there's maybe a chance that I can do something here. Maybe I can make something work. You're hoping he's more broke than anything. But because of how fast this guy replaced his bases, and the fact that he has a base you didn't even know about in the entire since the beginning, or since it happened, he has way more he has way more recovery than you expect, which is why looking at it from a replay, it looks really one-sided. But when you play it, you don't realize that, and it's because you're not scouting enough. Like if you were checking the map more often, you wouldn't have felt so inclined to be like, I gotta go for a base. Like the game was essentially really lost when that first base trade happened, because if you would have fought his army straight up, guaranteed he would have killed his army. And suddenly now, not only do you kill his army, you kill top left, you kill middle left. By the time you kill middle left, he regroups. He's got a new army. If it's enough to make you feel pressured, and maybe you've lost enough of your zealots on the planetaries and stuff like that, and his army up there, that you go, you know what, I'll back up. You're now on you're the bottom left side of the map and the bottom middle side of the map. I'll just take the base in top left, and I'll do the same thing again. I'll just rebuild all my units. I'll secure top left because I just killed it, and I'll scout again. Like if that's how the game went, like suddenly you just have control of everything, and it's easy for you. And then if he does damage to you, it's really easy for you to bounce back and recover. It's not so easy for him because he just took horrible fights. But yeah, like obviously you didn't really scout that way, so you don't know the full aspect and the full range of what your opponent's going to be capable of. So it's misleading. You're like, okay, it makes you feel like you have more of a chance than you do.
Yeah.
But now you're gonna obviously be dead here, because there's now there's cloak banshees again, and there's no detection, and it's just
game's done.
Yeah, like you have no mining base, and this is like your last bastion here, your last chance to mine something, and he's now zoning it because this base is empty. All your bases that you currently have nexuses at are empty, which is just your main and your third. So yeah, it makes sense, obviously, you quit here. But, yeah. Yeah, man. It's all about the early multitasking up to 3 base saturation, which we definitely harped on for a while there in the early part. And then control of the map and how to maximize your time to efficiently set up your base for you and not allow your opponent to take control of the game. Those are the big ones. And the big one that we explained also how you should be moving your army. If you're blind, always your army is in the heart of your base. So if your base is the way it is right now, your army should literally be standing probably like right here, just for what it currently is. Because your army could be right here, because if your opponent pushes up here into your main, you're ready to defend it. If your opponent pushes down here, you're close by to defend it. You don't currently have a base here yet. If you did take a base here, I would say your new army position should be like right there, and you should have a scout there and there. Does that make sense? So if he comes up to your main, you'll know before he gets there. And if he comes up, up and around this way to this base, he comes this way, your army's here to defend. If he comes down and around, your army is once again here, which is very close to defend. If you were to take this base as well, your new army position should once again be like right here, in the heart, like maybe like right there. The heart of your base, the main part of your army. And you should always have some type of an idea where he is, especially if you're the one who's like maxed. If you're maxed out, you should always be sending zealots on the sides of the map. You should always be sending zealots on the sides of the map for like this kind of an idea. Always send 2 or 3 to scout sides and natural, or just sides is good enough. So you scout the top side and the bottom side. You just scout outer bases. And you go, oh look, his army's on the top side, and I'm not ready to take a fight yet, but that bottom side of that base is looking real juicy. You could send like 10 zealots or 20 zealots at the bottom base, and you could just wait with the main part of your army. Just unhockey those zealots. Let them literally attack the bottom of the base, at the bottom of the map on that base, and they're gonna die eventually, but they're gonna do some fucking serious damage in the process if he's out of position. And you just let him take a fight against you where you're going to have the advantage, where you're the one who gets to defend a superior choke point, where you get concave, he gets convex, and he walks into a choke point to get stormed and Colossus smashed, all that stuff. And suddenly you're like, wow, that was the easiest fight of my life. That was so easy.
Yeah.
And you can dictate how he moves his stuff because you don't have to move your entire army all around, back and forth, being like, he's harassing me here, move everything. He's harassing me there, move everything. Static D will give you that advantage and just awareness of where he is with Zealots.
Yeah, sounds great.
Any other questions about anything this game?
Right now, doesn't come any questions.
Okay. Lots to absorb, lots to consume.
Yeah.
All right.
Totally.
One more thing before we're done. We gotta make a game, and I want to give you that example game I was talking about earlier on.
Sure, let's do that.
Let's fucking do it, dude. All right, we gotta log back into the game. I'll get back on the European server.
Sure. Okay.
All right. I am logging back in. I'm back on. I'll make a game and I'll invite you to it.
Okay.
And I'm expecting great things out of your Reaper. I know how much you use Reapers.
Oh yeah.
No, it's
We're
okay.
close friends.
I just want you to like try and kill my probes and like run away if you're gonna lose the Reaper and stuff like that. And just you can even build a bunker on me if you want as well. But like what happened to you. But yeah, just try to be annoying at the Reaper.
Oh man, I'm so fucked already.
You don't have to macro or anything either. Just literally only use the Reaper.
Just one run Reaper. Okay, I can do that. I guess.
And I'm just gonna like macro as if I'm defending that Reaper and having my build going.
Yeah. On my perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to fucking this is so laggy. My game list isn't loading, so I guess maybe you can try making a game.
Yeah, sure. I can change if you want. I'll go to America.
No. Oh sure.
No?
Okay. You just logged off, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, no, I I think it's fucked up right now, and I gotta change it from the.
Come back to Europe, and then on Europe you can try making a game in the custom melee, because my list won't load for some reason. I don't understand.
Alright. I invite.
Yeah, and then if you make a game, yeah, you can just invite me to it.
What? Okay. Yeah, it's. Oh my god, it's constantly rebooting the game. What the heck is it? Now it seems to work. Okay, I'll invite you just 1 second. This one.
Here, I'm just gonna do like I might actually be able to host like a peep mode or something, because
Sure.
yeah, like my arcade list loads, but my my custom like 1v1 ladder game won't load. I don't know. Okay, now my arcade game won't load either. Jesus. Okay. Alright, I'll just wait for you to host the game, I think. I'm still trying, but my god.
It's alright. I mean, I'll try to invite you. Just give me 1 second. Rah, 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 rah. Yeah. That should do it.
Even that was laggy. It said you invited me to blank.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Doesn't even tell me what game we're playing.
Oh my god. Yeah, you're low. Did you get the...
Yeah, it's trying to load it. We actually might have to go to NA because this is not working.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'll just go NA as that's alright.
All right.
Just give me 1 second.
Yeah. So here's what you got to do to go to NA. I learned this on my stream earlier today because people were giving me shit for it. You have to change
Okay.
your launcher to NA. You cannot change it in the game itself.
Yeah, I gotta close StarCraft then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably actually probably for the best because I would have like 350 ping on Europe, so it'd be hard to give you a good example.
Sure.
Because I'm currently in Australia.
All right then.
All right, let's see if the North American game list loads.
Yeah. Wonder that too.
So far, no luck.
No, mine is loading as well. It's like everything is sleeping.
Oh,
no,
right.
it's
Okay,
loading.
I got it. It actually got a game. Okay, cool. I got one. All right. So I don't know how much. Okay, so this map, I'll just say you have 2 places the Reaper can attack on this map. Or let me invite you to the game first before I start going into this.
Sure.
I don't think I have you on my list on this.
No.
So here's what
yeah.
you're gonna do. Just do this. Just message me from the Grandmaster leaderboard. You can just if you don't know how to do it, click your portrait.
Yeah, sure. Just 1 second.
Or do you know how to do it? I could explain it if you don't.
Yeah, I'm looking for you
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
Root roll.
My rank is 160. Real low
160.
right now.
Okay.
You gotta scroll way down there.
160. Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
So
just send me a message and I'll invite you to the game. All right, I think I invite you to the game now. There we go.
let's go.
Okay, so on this map, your Reaper can go on the top side and the bottom. Like there'll be like a side path where there's like a big arrow pointing. You'll see it. And then the other one is like obviously like walking straight into the base. I just picked the first map I saw.
No, that's all right.
And then I will I'll do the Protoss build up to you know like the 2 base full saturation, you know, just for a little bit. And give you an idea of what I'm kind of meaning here.
Oh, this is gonna be fun because I don't remember when it was the last time I played Terran.
Yeah.
Honestly, I got no clue. Okay.
Alright, so I'm gonna make a structure here. You know, start walling my base off from the potential Reaper. You can see on the bottom side of the map, the very like the left side of my main, you can see the arrows that go up like 3 cliffs. The Reaper can go up that.
Okay.
So that's one way you can attack me.
All right. Right now I'm just watching the game. Okay. I'm honestly.
Are you watching the stream?
No. Now I am. I got 2 monitors on my right monitor.
You can see it on your map too, even the Fog of War. You can see like the green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can I jump from the parasol thingy?
You can, yeah, like the where the arrows are, you can jump there. If there is no arrow there, you can't jump it.
That's cool.
But the green arrow you can.
Okay. Okay.
Alright, so now I'm like trying to get my economy kind of like saturated properly here, fixed. Like, you know, making sure everything's like 222.
Okay, what did... Oh, I need some... Okay. Okay.
If you ever go over, you can like you know, like if your gas isn't done like what I just did, and you're gonna have just probes literally just sitting there, you can totally put them on your mineral line. Just try your best to grab them off of a 3 stack.
And
then you're good. Or if you take them, if you just grab probes, just make sure you have 3 stacks, and then you'll be fine. So now I have a stalker being chronoed, I have a core upgrading warp gate, and now I'm gonna throw down. I can throw down because I saw you didn't expand. I can throw down a robo really fast.
Okay.
And now I'm gonna make a
Getting
sentry.
close.
So now I just periodically keep checking my my Nexus and stuff for my pro production, all that stuff.
Okay, how that? Oh my god, this is... No, he cannot go from here. Oh, okay.
There you are. Okay,
Yeah.
so now I would chase you.
Yeah, and then I just die because there's no... Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, there's no way that I can go out.
Yeah. Well, I just go ahead and leave. I'm not gonna kill you this time, and you can come back again. And then like
Okay.
obviously, if that would the best case scenario is like I would kill the Reaper in this situation. But I'm still just making probes. I'm still chrono boosting, all that jazz. And yeah. And then now I can see my second gateway here.
That's a rogue one. That wasn't under my command. I forgot I queued one more.
But if you get really fast at it, you can like move command with it and then attack, move command, attack. So you can like, I'll let the Reaper heal and I'll show you what I mean. Like you can.
Okay.
So you can like really get the Reaper full health again.
Yeah, sure.
Or I mean, sorry, I'm like saying two things at once.
That's right.
You could really kill the Reaper if you move command your Stalker correctly. But even if you can't do it, it's still worth it to just move it once and focus on your economy. Because you can notice at 420 right now, I'm already fully saturated on both my bases. Like gas included, basically. And we can start like a third base now. And now we could be like, all right, let's go and do like a Colossus building. We could even throw down like a Twilight Council. And now if I'm gonna use my Stalker, I could be like, I could literally just shoot you, move forward, shoot, move forward, shoot. So I move forward during the attack cooldown and I kill it like that. So it makes your life easier. But that does take more attention, so that will be something that will definitely distract you. So I don't recommend that a whole lot at first. I think you shouldn't really worry too much about that. You should worry just about making your build as optimal as we've done it so far. With like the chronos, the probe. The biggest thing of all is we have not stopped making probes. Like we have not missed any probes at all. So our probe count's looking great. This game could also end up, being like, hey, Sentry, let's go scout his base. I know there are little things that I haven't done perfectly in this so far, because like some things that I've told you to do. But you get the point. Like,
yeah,
the biggest thing I'm trying to show you here is the economy. Like, you wanna, if you can manage to get your economy looking what mine looks like now, you will do great. You'll do wonderful.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, so far it's being great for me.
And then
whoa, that one
from like
scary ass.
Once our like third base is pretty much done being saturated, at this point now we could be like, all right, let's throw on some more gates. Third base is pretty much almost done. Throw on like an extra like 6 gates. We have a Twilight Council already, so we could also add on at this point a what's it called? A Temple Archives. And now we have 8 gates. We have a 1 Robo. We have a Temple Archives, and now we're gonna start double forges, because again, this is that moment in time too where not only are we well saturated on 3 bases, we're done saturating 3 bases. It's 66 probes at 6.5 minutes. Or we have the last couple probes started. We're actually at 68 probes. Sorry, I'm actually over by 2. But yeah, we have all.
I shouldn't start the 64 just before the third base is saturated.
No. Like if you want to do this as optimal as possible, yeah, I feel like this would probably be your best bet.
Okay.
And then now we're done. What's it called? We're done saturating, so no more chronos on the probes. We can just periodically make a couple more probes here and there for like a 4th. And now we just go pure chrono on Forge. Full chronos on Forge. And we have enough Stalkers, so now we're just making like Zealots, Archons, Templars, and Colossus. For the time being. And that's it. And then there you go. Then, you just try your best not to like supply block like I just did here, and etc, etc.
No. It's alright.
But yeah, 6.5 minutes is, if you can do a saturation while getting Reaper harassed, especially, of 3 base full saturation, 66 probes at 6 minutes, you're playing like a god. Like that is GM level right there. That's fucking really good. And then And if you can get anywhere in that ballpark, like let's say within 30 seconds, you're still playing well. If you take like a full minute though, or 2 minutes later than that, that is not good at all. That's
Okay.
very, very slow. So just, I would say this. Within 30 seconds of it, really good. Within a minute of it, you need to work on it. Within 2 minutes of it, you're playing bad. And you need to really
Yeah.
work on it.
Mineral
And that's about
field
it.
exhausted.
All right, that's pretty much it, dude, for that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, dude, thanks for getting a coaching lesson. I hope it was good. I hope it helps you out a lot. And
No, of course, man.
yeah. Well, you're definitely gonna have to come back again and let me know how it goes again, dude. For you know, the next few days, the next week or so. Just if you have any more questions, you can feel free to ask me in stream chat and stuff like that. Just about anything really.
Sure.
And yeah, man.
Well, thank you so much for the lesson. It's been great and really fun, as always.
Yeah, same, dude. Those Archons were glorious. in the little cubby hole.
Oh my god, poor guys. Oh my
Yeah.
god, last light better than the proofs with the Hellions.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was awful.
You're a fun guy to coach. It was fun, and
Thank you.
it was good, man. And I hope it all helps you out some more. So
Indeed, it does. It does. Thank you.
until next time, good luck, dude.
Until next time.
And I'll see you later, man.
Bye bye. Thanks.
See you, dude.